Hello and welcome to room 5 in the middle of our first grade and kindergarten hallway, as we'll call it, Meriwether Elementary School. Come on in, take a look around. Welcome to first grade. Today I'm going to show you some of the components of negligence that I have hopefully managed to contain so that students are safe, so that they've been warned, so that they have been instructed properly to handle the materials in the classroom. So we're going to start, we're just going to take a little tour, and I hope I don't make you dizzy here. Several things in our first grade classroom. As you know, first graders love to touch, play, handle, and explore. So a lot of instruction goes into the beginning of the year as we talk about how to handle materials. So putting together properly, instructing, and my duty to warn kids of safety hazards. On each table, of course, we have the standard protocol: scissors, crayons, hand sanitizer, pencils, which can be used as throwing rockets, as you might well know. So we talk a lot at the beginning of the year about how best to handle ourselves with these materials. We do a lot of role playing and practicing. We do the same with all of our science materials. So if we take a little look-see, over here in the science corner, we're right now learning about plants, and so we have a plant light right here. And we have a note for our custodian, of course, to keep it on, but at the beginning, of course, we had a note for our students saying, please don't touch. This light could be very hot, and of course, it's an exposed light bulb. So we again instruct the students, warn them that it's dangerous so they're aware of it, and then practice and check the understanding. Students also in my classroom, we really talk about how if you do what you need to do, you're going to get rewarded and get to do what you want to do. And so all these things I just talked about, using scissors appropriately, not touching our plant light, things like that, are rewarded as a part of our school rewards. We hand out paw pats, which are attached to a classroom and school incentives. So we're always trying to reward those positive behaviors. Let's move on a little bit. I'm going to tell you about some more things I have to warn and instruct all about. We use other things in our classroom, hopefully making learning fun, with fly swatters and silly straws and pointers. These can also become, swords and rockets launching across the room, much like pencils. So of course we talk about those objects every time they're introduced and supervise to make sure that there's appropriate use of those tools. Back to warning a little bit more. We discussed in the Cambron text a lot about students and warning students about one another. And so I do have some students in my classroom who need practice with calming temper tantrums and keeping their bodies in control and safe. Some students, in fact, have satellite seats like the one you're seeing, which are removed from the other students because that's a particular student who needs his own space to keep himself in control and safe. We talk to the students in our community circle quite a bit about how, without using names typically, of course, that some students have a hard time calming themselves down. What should we do when those students are angry? We might try to help if we know the student, but probably we're going to stay away and keep our own bodies safe, focus on our own learning job, and let an adult handle that. Supervision. I'm going to back up here and show you where I typically sit at my Bucky Badger table to do small group instruction. You can see that I have a pretty solid view of all my classroom tables. Very importantly, all 4 computer screens that are being used, and most of my rug, back corner, listening center, and other learning centers across the classroom, so I can hopefully supervise while teaching small group instruction. Of course, teaching is a balancing act, as always. We know that students can get into conflicts, and so that's my job, is to be supervising those things at the same time. So we've talked a little bit about instructing on those safety issues. We have some things in our classroom such as a sink. We do use hand sanitizer, as I mentioned before. We have a large computer cart with an Elmo, of course, and a projector, so a lot of teacher tools, as those are labeled. And then we have these funky outlet boxes and power strip poles. We have another one in the corner, and so we do talk a great deal about how those things are teacher tools and not to be touched. Similar story with our vent right up here, just components of our building that we have to keep an eye on. So we do talk about keeping those things away from students, making sure that we are safe and that we keep our classroom environment as clean as possible so the most learning can happen. Thanks so much for visiting room 5. Have a great day.